Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Gentlemen, I just wanted to turn to the issue of the South China Sea. And the international ruling in The Hague put China on the defensive. Mr. Secretary, as you know, a number of us at the Shangri-La Dialogue have been supportive of your efforts, and I certainly want to give the administration credit for sending 2 carrier battle groups to the region together recently. But I think a number of us remain concerned about the likelihood of reclamation at the Scarborough Shoal and the ongoing, and it's definitely ongoing from all reports, militarization at Fiery Cross, Subi, and Mischief Reef, which was also declared as not, being within China's territorial realm. So what's the strategy to deter future Chinese reclamation activities in the South China Sea, especially at Scarborough Shoal, and equally, if not more important, what's the plan to respond to ongoing militarization of the land that they've already claimed?
Thanks, Senator. I'll start, and then Chairman can join. I'm actually glad you raised the issue. We haven't talked much about the Asia-Pacific, but you know a great deal about it, and I appreciate that Chairman McCain always leads a delegation out there to Shangri-La, because it shows the persistence of the American presence in that region and the centrality of our continued presence there. Now, what we have stood for there now for many, many years and continue to stand for, and the reason why so many countries are associated themselves with us, and increasingly so, is we stand for principle. And one of those principles is the rule of law. So the decision did come down, and our position, we didn't take a position in the disputes themselves. We do support the decision of the court. China's rejection of that is having the effect, you asked, well, sort of what's the reaction to all this? The effect of causing countries there to express their concern by wanting to do more with us. And we like building the security network there. We're not trying to do that against China, but if China chooses to exclude itself in this way, this is the development that occurs. So we're working more with each and every country there. We find them increasingly coming to us, and we are continuing to operate there as we always have and always will. And last, I guess I should say, in terms of investments, in addition to putting a lot of our force structure there, which you're very familiar with, and I'm grateful that your state hosts some of that, including some of our most modern stuff. We're making a number of qualitative investments in, and that's one of the things that's reflected in our budget, and one reason why we hope that in addition to funding our budget, nobody shuffles around in our budget new stuff that is oriented toward the high end for old force structure, and we've seen a tendency towards that. So we're reacting in a number of ways in terms of our own activities and investments, but the most important thing that's going on is in the region itself. Let me ask the Chairman to add.
Senator, I think a response to the challenge you identified clearly is going to require diplomatic action, economic action, and military action. So I'll talk to the military piece of this, which right now is actually, I don't think, the most prominent piece in dealing with the challenge of China. But I think from my perspective, we need to do a couple of things. Number one, militarily, we need to recognize the implications of the militarization of the South China Sea, and our plans need to be adjusted accordingly. Number two, we need to continue to fly, sail, and operate wherever international law allows, and make it very clear that we're doing that on a routine basis. And number three, we need to make sure that our posture in the Pacific assures our allies and deters any potential aggression by China, and makes it absolutely clear that we have the wherewithal, both within the alliance as well as U.S. capabilities, to do what must be done vis-a-vis China. So I think if we provide the President with clear options, I think we will have done our job. But primarily right now, I think the President has some diplomatic and economic areas where also will contribute to moderating China's behavior.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.